It would actually like to continue to recycle Democrats who put us in this miserable situation. When Rusat asked how many of you knew Zoran Mandani 4 months ago, you were the only person to raise your hand. Why do we know Zoran Mandani? Normally, if you're a mayor, even the worst mayor, de Blasio, you end up running for re-election on the Democratic line, didn't he? Against Nicole Malliotakis, the great congresswoman. Eric Adams couldn't even win his own Democratic Party nomination. And he knew it. He was going to get trounced. He was going to be humiliated. Didn't even try. Was given an opportunity to run against me in the Republican primary. The White House said, Eric, we can get you into the primary, which they could. They would go to Richie. They would go to 2 other county chair people, all of whom supported me. But let's face it, if the president were to call and say, I want you to give him a Wilson Pakula, I want him to run against Curtis in the Republican primary. That's legal. It's been done before. Well, they put out a poll amongst Republicans, and the poll came back 72% to 24%, some undecided, that Republicans chose Curtis Sliwa. So what do you think Eric Adams said? I don't want to go through that humiliation. So now he's an independent. Andrew Cuomo had his chance to stop Zoran Mandani. He failed miserably. He mailed it in. And now Republicans would actually want to consider giving the keys back to the city to the very people who destroyed it to begin with. De Blasio, Cuomo, Adams. So that Zoran could get his chance to destroy the city that we love. Where's your pride? Are you proud to be Republicans? Are you? I don't get a sense of that in the city. You know what I get a sense of? Curtis, you can win. You know where? In Zoran Mandani neighborhoods where I spend my time. Getting millennials, getting Gen Zers. Why? Because they study the numbers. Why is it that the socialists are telling me that? Why is it the moderate Democrats are telling me that? But some of our own Republicans are so used to losing, so used to thinking, oh, we can't win a citywide election. We can't win a statewide election. Well, thoughts are things, and the Democrats know that. They haven't had to sow the seeds of doubt within our Republicans because too many of our fellow Republicans do that on a regular basis. So let me be the voice of reality. There have been 4 polls since the primary results. 4 polls. Eric Adams has finished dead last in each one of them, including the one he paid for. What does that tell you about a sitting mayor who's on TV 24 hours a day, doing every podcast, giving money out now that he didn't give out before, and continuing to destroy this city? As was mentioned in the preview, he had a chance to give money to our veterans in the budget. He gave them $4 million. He ended up giving the illegal aliens an additional $55 million. I don't want to hear about, oh, I was surviving in Brooklyn and now I'm MAGA man because the president kept me out of jail where he belonged for stealing $10 million in straw donors. I don't want to hear that nonsense. But I am upset most with our fellow Republicans. When I did the analytics of these polls, you know which vote I win the most of? The independents. The independents vote for me more than they vote for Mandani, for Cuomo, for Adams. That's why I'm in 3rd place. If I had to depend on our fellow Republicans, forget about it. They're all over the place. So it's time we come home, Republicans, to Republican values. The values that kept this city strong and saved it when Rudy was elected 8 years. The best mayor we ever had was a Republican. Followed by Bloomberg, 12 years, a Republican. With 12 years overseeing a Pataki, a Republican. The moment we went back to the Democratic trail of the 3 amigos, de Blasio, Cuomo, Adams. Total chaos, total corruption. Why the hell would any of you want to go that way? If that's the case, move out now. I'll be your moving guy. I'll pack you up, move you to Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Tennessee. Because if you want to improve and not move, if you want to fight for what's right, you're going to vote for the Republican candidate to become the next mayor of the city of New York, like independents are. I mean, think about that. There are double the number of independents than there are registered Republicans. You know that, Chairman. And they're the growing number of voters. They choose me overwhelmingly. What do they know that our fellow Republicans don't want to recognize? I'll tell you what they know is that they're free agents and they're going to pick the best person for the job because they are not weighed down by party affiliation. Isn't that refreshing? What Republican can ever say that they won the independent vote? None. None. So now it's time we call the Republicans back. Oh, this Ubats, Meshuggah, thinking. Oh, we're going to anoint Cuomo, he's going to save us. We're going to anoint Adams. Well, let me tell you something. I'm out in all the neighborhoods, as was mentioned. I was in Harlem earlier, Washington Heights, came here to Brooklyn. We'll be back in the subways and in the projects. We talk about Mondami wants to let everybody ride the bus for free, right? That's bad, right? Half the people ride the bus for free now. What are you talking about? Oh my God, he's going to let all the people ride it. Half the people don't pay their fare. We can't blame him for that. There's no enforcement. There's no enforcement. Who's in charge? Eric Adams. Who was in charge as governor? Andrew Cuomo. Did they have any enforcement? No. Oh, he's going to freeze the rent. And de Blasio did that twice before. It's like, oh, Stabilization Board. They are all his appointees. So when he says he gets elected, he's going to freeze the rent. He can do it. Everything else he can't do, but he can do that. And the rent is too high to pay. You got to realize that. The cost of living in New York City is astronomical. Some of you are business people. Your electricity rates, the sewage, the water, the property tax, the fees, the fines, the speed cameras, the red light cameras. You gotta buy your own garbage can. You can't buy your own can. It's one big tax. That's gonna end when I'm the mayor. Because I pay you your pay. I'm the guy that's out there with you. They're not. Let's take a look. Where was Mondani? Oh, he partnered up with his billionaire friend George Soros and his son. Where was Eric Adams? State Senator Steve Chan, you were very eloquent in pointing out the death of those two elderly Chinese underneath the BQE as they were just walking in the streets, and this madman that I believe is an illegal alien, I may be wrong, drunk from Staten Island, just plowed them over. Well, Steve, the mayor couldn't be there because he was too busy in Florida with more billionaires and doing a freaking podcast. And with young Republicans in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, are you running for mayor of New York City? Are you the mayor of New York City? Or would you prefer to be like a lot of other New Yorkers living in Florida? Because if you want to live in Florida, I can guarantee you he will be a one-term mayor and he can move to Florida. In Florida. Before that, last weekend, I was in Coney Island. Where was he? Out with Cuomo in the same building with billionaires. I'm not the candidate of the billionaires and millionaires. I'm the candidate of the blue-collar working class. That's where I come from. I will not turn my back on them. No billionaire, no millionaire is going to choose the next mayor. Boy, they did a great job with Cuomo, right? Huh? They did a great job. Hey, where's Bloomberg now, huh? Bloomberg gave $11 million. You don't hear anything from Bloomberg because these fake, phony frauds are all backdoor. While you're complaining about Mondami, they're cutting deals with him. Did you know that? Did you know they're meeting with him? That's why they call them hedge funds.
You're right.
They're hedging their bet. Tish, great police commissioner, had to clean up the mess created by Eric Adams, right? Jessica Tish. Her family is meeting with Mandela. They're billionaires. And she's not saying, I'll leave. If you elect him, I leave. Hey, that's the only good thing that Eric Adams has going for him. She's hedging her bet. Don't be lured in by these billionaires and millionaires. They don't represent you. And I'm going to tell you why. This week, how many of you are going to join me in Staten Island as we intend to repeal legally the city of Yes that will destroy residential neighborhoods? You should all be there if you can.
Right here.
Fighting for the city of Yes is clearly Eric Adams, because he has been wine dined and pocket lined by the developers and the realtors, all of whom are in Manhattan. Andrew Cuomo's on board. And guess who filed a friend of the court brief late last week to support the guys who supposedly hate him and he hates them? Zoran Mandami. Are you aware of that? The three of them are going to have their advocates in court arguing against us. I'm the only candidate who says on day one when I become mayor, I'm going to repeal the city of Yes. None of the others. None of the others. Now, the city of Yes destroys your neighborhoods. It gives the city the right to come in. No more zoning. I don't have to go to the local city council person. I don't have to go to the community board. I want to put up a 40-story monstrosity apartment building. I take your land, I seize it, and there is not going to be any parking for them. And a whole host of other problems. Wake up. You fear Zoran Mandami? You should fear the Democrats, the other two who are running, because they're all in cahoots on this. We must stop them. The lithium-ion battery warehouses, how many of you are terrified of them, huh? Some of you are living with them right in your back door. You're terrified, right? Do you know who supports the lithium-ion battery warehouses? They're putting 38 in Staten Island, 12 in Brooklyn, 8 in Queens, and 4 in the Bronx, and they continue to pop up. You know who's supporting it? Eric Adams. He says it's safe. Andrew Cuomo and Zoran Mandami. Because if the billionaires support you, who's making money on that? The billionaires. How many of you have homes in the Hamptons? Can you raise your hand? What? Well, it's almost like you're not a person of consequence. Oh, I'm in the Hamptons. We're not Hampton people. We're blue-collar working class. We're Brooklyn strong. We're Brooklyn strong. I'm a Brooklyn boy. I was born in Brooklyn. I'll die in Brooklyn. I'm going to fight for the values of working class people, for the small homeowners, for the small business people who are getting screwed. We can't get rid of tenants. What the hell have any of them done for you with squatter tenants who live in your building and you got to pay for them for 5, 6, 7 years? Did they feel your pain? And you know who the worst landlord in all of New York City is? That's right, NYCHA, the city of New York. They have 6,000 empty apartments. How can you have 6,000 empty apartments in NYCHA if you have a housing crisis? And I don't just accept the analytics. I've been in Cary Gardens, Coney Island homes. I see on floor to floor all the doors with holes in it where there are no occupants. 6,000. Of course they want a housing crisis. Because then the developers and the realtors come in, push you out, and make their money. But what have they done for you lately? We know what Zoran's going to do. We know. He says it openly, boldly. And by the way, I'm in the Jewish neighborhoods, and actually they're all bent out of shape. I get it. He's anti-Semitic. He's doubled down. But I said, hey, excuse me. I'm a student of history. The founding father of Israel was Ben-Gurion, right? Prime Minister? What party was he with? Labor Socialist. Ah. Wait. The Labor Party in Israel was socialist? Yeah. When Rabin was assassinated, executed, he's a member of the Labor Party, the socialist. I've been to Israel 3 times. The biggest complaint I used to get from people is we can't do business here. We can't even send a box to America. We got to fill out 10 forms. Because we're run by socialists. So let's get real. You can call him a communist. You can call him a socialist. You can call him an anti-Semite. He agrees with you. Check all the boxes. I am. The way you beat Zohran Mandami is neighborhood issues. He loves it when you do all of this. He loves it. The other thing I have to chastise my fellow Republicans, not so much here, but around the country. They are vile, they're despicable. They're talking about Muslim women being towel heads, men having sex with animals, and they're putting it out there and saying, we're MAGA. You think that's helping? Do you know there are 1 million Muslims, most of who are even more conservative than any in this room, who are patriotic? You're pushing them towards Zohran Mandami. And you know why? Because it's an attack on the religion and the culture. Stop. Stop. In the last election for Donald Trump, I went into all the bodegas in the Bronx. And they're not all Dominican anymore. A lot of them are owned by the Yemenites. They were wearing MAGA garb. I walk into those same bodegas now. Curtis, come here, please. Your people, you're forcing us to vote for Zohran. I said, how do you go from voting for Trump, voting for Sliwa, to voting for Zohran? It's that simple. You attack our religion, you attack our culture. We go to the mosque on Friday, our day of prayer, Juma, our special day of prayer, and that's all anybody is talking about. Look at this Charlie Court. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. You know, I gotta tell you, Republicans nationally are hurting me the most because they are galvanizing support for Zohran Mandami. They talked about this transcript to get into Columbia. You know, he didn't get into Columbia. He was rejected. By the way, we saw his SAT scores from Bronx High School of Science. Good school. I wish I had those SAT scores. He was rejected. Why are we talking about stuff that has nothing to do with our day-to-day lives? I am taking the battle into the neighborhoods to talk about the issues of importance to everybody. Andrew Cuomo said that the number 1 issue was anti-Semitism. Remember? How did that work out? You know how many anti-Semites are on the right? Come on, that's the deep, dark secret that we don't want to talk about. Oh, the anti-Semites are on the left. Oh, no. Anti-Semitism didn't come up in the first 6 issues, poll after poll. You know what it came up? Affordability, rent's too high to pay, cost of living, crime, quality of life. Over and over, it doesn't matter what neighborhood you go into. So we can keep going down the same road that Cuomo went, and you will be guaranteeing that Zohran Mandami is hanging the drapes in Gracie Mansion. By the way, he's already being driven around by the cops. Here's the guy who wanted social workers, right? For everybody else. No cops, social workers, but he has armed NYPD police officers assigned to him, driving him around in the SUV, not taking the subways. Of course not. The only one who takes the subways is the people's mayor, Curtis Sliwa. I'm the only guy that's been the target of a hit. 5 shots. Hollow point bullets. On orders from John Gotti Sr. to John Gotti Jr. and the Gambino crime family. Luckily, they weren't successful. Do you think I should have security? I don't want security. You know what I told the NYPD? Because I'm entitled to it. I'm the only other major candidate running. There's a Democrat and there's me, the Republican. I told them we need cops in the streets. We don't have enough cops. I don't want them protecting me. So understand this. We got real issues in the neighborhoods. And we're micro-targeting each neighborhood because not all of them are the same. When I'm on the debate stage, and I will be on the debate stage starting in September, I'm sorry, even if some of you don't want me there, there's nothing you can do. I'm on the line. If suddenly I were to have a concussion and not know where I was, my name is still on the line. I'm getting matching funds, $3 million on July 15th. I would have to give that all back. What do I tell all of our supporters? Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta step out. For Eric Adams or Andrew Cuomo, I'd rather take a gun and blow my brains out. I'm telling you straight, you know how I talk. I'm not talking like a politician. I'm telling you the truth. I'm out there in the streets. I know how to beat this guy. But we're gonna beat him with Republicans, moderate Democrats, and independents. Eric Adams can't get that, and Andrew Cuomo doesn't even want to try to get that. He's too busy being wine dined and parking line in the Hamptons. So if you're gonna get involved in the campaign, we're going to be specifically micro-targeting the issues that are unique to your zip codes. We've got it defined to the zip code. Are we going to take on Zoran Mandami, that he's a communist, a socialist, and an anti-Semite? Of course. But people have heard that over and over and over again. Guess what? Hasn't even put a dent in him. Cuomo spent $25 million trying to drill that into people's heads. And again, if you're out in the streets like Curtis Sliwa, you know why that does not resonate. Half the people don't pay the fare who ride the buses already. So, you have a job when you leave here today. You got to rally up Republicans. I got moderate Democrats coming to me. Bob Holden is now in charge of Democrats for Sliwa. I have the people who ran RFK Jr.'s campaign up until the point where he decided to join Team Trump. They want to back me. They want to consolidate behind me. I have independents coming to me from everywhere saying, Curtis, you're the candidate that we identify with. And the only group of people who vacillate are Republicans. And I know what it is. You don't think we can win a citywide election. You don't think we can win a statewide election. Well, let me finish on this. I get 32, 33% of the votes citywide. The last person to get 32 to 33% statewide in the city was George Pataki. That's how he became the governor over a much better Cuomo than Andrew Cuomo. Andrew, I knew your father Mario, you know Mario Cuomo. Pataki beat Mario Cuomo because he got 32, 33% of the vote in New York. So if I do well, whoever the party chooses next year, whether it's Elise Stefanik, who supports me, Mike Lawler, who supports me, whether it's the Nassau County Executive Bruce, who supports me. Isn't this amazing? I got all these Republicans from outside of the state. State GOP, Ed Cox. All the county chairmen, the committee people, all of them supporting me. The last time they didn't have that. And we have some Republicans that say, oh, maybe we should go with Eric Adams. Maybe we should go with Cuomo. Maybe we should have a summit in September and sit down in the Hamptons and maybe play musical chairs and whoever left can run. I'm telling you straight up, I am your candidate. If anybody wanted to challenge me, there was a primary. Eric had his chance and passed. You want to abandon Republican principles? Do me a favor. Lucette, we got some Democratic forms here. You can register new voters up until early voting. We'll be more than happy to register you as an independent or a Democrat. These are not Republicans. None of those candidates have Republican values. Patriotism. Are any of them talking about patriotism? Are any of them talking about what we got to do for our children in this failed public school system that spends $41 billion to promote an anti-American view towards our own country? Who's the only one going to do that? And who's going to cut that budget in the DOE? There ain't no $41 billion going to be spent. And they're going to do, as we did here today, the Pledge of Allegiance and sing the national anthem. And they're going to learn civics, as we did in public school, as I did in PS 114 and Gildas East Junior High School. And they're going to learn American history because you pay the taxes and the taxpayers are going to be heard from. So make your choice. Follow the path of self-destructive democratic policies that have led us to Zoran Mandami and continue to make the same mistake. And I know you'll be leaving. Oh, I know you'll be leaving. But this guy here, improve, don't move. I'm not leaving. I'm not running. Nothing's going to drive me out. I am going to fight, fight, fight for the working class people, for the outer boroughs, because what we need is a man or a woman who represents the outer boroughs, and I'm the man of the moment. Thank you for coming here today. Thank you, Ronnie.